President Goslin?
Here.
There is a quorum.
Oh, excuse me.
Consent agenda license applications resolved that the consent agenda having been posted, all matters being referred to proper departments and being disposed or awaiting recommendation, the same is hereby approved.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Moving second. Any discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Those licenses that were approved were West Warwick Teacher Alliance, West Warwick School Department, Jill Fisher, Church of Christ the King, Rhode Island Pink Heels, St. Anthony's Church, St. John and James Parish, West Warwick Housing Association, private detective license, car show permit, tag day permit for West Warwick Fire Department. I think that already passed. And Louis Carullo doing business as Emerge Martial Arts and Odin Horticulture.
For the record, I need to recuse myself from one of the license renewal applications, my father's construction company.
Just recuse yourself from all of them, and it's simpler that way. There's nothing that's going to be...
It's easy.
That's
Just
fine.
recuse yourself.
All right. I mean, I'm not gonna
Actually,
fight.
also renewal licenses for Miller Electric, Salon 707, Morgan Wealth Management, Boyer Associates, Hawker and Peddler permit for Rhode Island Public Health Foundation, and that's all been approved here tonight. I did it all in favor already, right? Did I already vote on
Yes.
this?
Yes.
Just for the record, Councilman Kennahan recused himself.
Consent agenda correspondence resolved that the consent agenda having been posted, all matters being referred to proper departments and being disposed or awaiting recommendation is hereby approved.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Moving second, any discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Sewer use appeals, abatements. Sorry. Resolved that the following abatements are hereby granted per recommendation of the Sewer Use Appeals Board and presented by the Director of Administration of the Wastewater Treatment Facility for approval by the Town Council. Original list is on file in the Office of the Director of Administration of the Wastewater Treatment Facility. Mr. Manug, Hedison, 197 River Farms Drive.
Hedison.
Thank you.
Hedison.
Okay. Plat 37, lot 407-197, abatement $474.17. Mr. Robert Brown, 15 Walnut Street, Plat 6, lot 127, abatement $484.94. Ms. Michelle Sanders, 12 Railroad Row, Warwick, Plat 263, lot 105, abatement $1,343.69.
I'll move the resolution.
Second.
Moving second, any discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Aye, Christine.
Addition of taxes, tax assessor, resolved that the attached additions in the amount of $95.32 presented to the tax assessor for approval of the town council in accordance with Article 25, Section 5 of the West Warwick Code of Ordinances is hereby approved. Original list is on file in the Office of the Tax Assessor.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Moving second, any discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
A resolution supporting the State Cultural Facilities grant application for the Arctic Playhouse at 1249 Main Street in West Warwick.
I'll move the resolution.
Second.
And this is sponsored by Councilman Giroux. Ed?
Right, sorry.
Yeah, this is really a no-brainer. This is giving our support behind the Arctic Playhouse for grants, and I wish them all the success. I hope the town can help them as much as possible. I'm hoping that maybe in the future we can help out with lighting in the area, and maybe a little bit of revamping in the area. This is going to be, I think, a great asset to the town, maybe even the hub, to draw others in. So congratulations to them, and let's get going.
Any good redevelopment requires the arts, and traditionally, the arts don't come second. They usually come first, and they're the seed that from which
Absolutely.
everything kind of grows. So this is pretty exciting stuff.
It really is. So I urge unanimous passage on this.
Any other discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Before we move on, I'm recusing myself from letter H, so Ed, it's all yours.
Wait a minute.
Tax incentive agreement between 4N Properties LLC and Town of West Warwick, sponsored by Council Vice President Giroux.
Got it.
I'll move the resolution.
Second.
Okay, Ed.
Okay, this is a tax incentive for a building being constructed on 41 Industrial Lane. And again, this is really business as usual. This is just something we do. Everything, I think, if there were any issues, the manager would let us know, but there don't seem to be at all. This is our standard tax agreement that we've had for many, many years. And I welcome the addition down there. It's a major investment on a 9,000 square foot commercial building. So again, I urge passage on this and approve the tax incentive agreement with 4N Properties LLC. All those in favor? Oh, any discussion? I'm sorry, any discussion from the audience? I'm new at this, haven't done it in a while. No? Any discussion from the council? All those in favor?
Aye.
Do I need to, okay. All those opposed? Ayes have it. Okay. Oh, man, that's, oh, that feels good. Oh, that feels good, right.
Feel the body coming back?
Right.
There's a coup. Oh, they
Oh, he's back.
Wow, we give him for a minute, is that it?
Take the gavel away from him.
You guys just got a raise.
All right.
Waiver of fees for town events, sponsored by Town Council President Goslin. Do you want me to just read through this, Dave?
I'll move the I'll make a motion to waive the reading.
Second.
Moving second, all in favor to waive the reading?
Aye.
Aye.
Now I'll move the resolution.
Moving second, discussion. Again, this is just, we have two town events that day. We have the Thunder Mist Health Center Duck Race, that's going from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then the Town of West Warwick's Festival going from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we have some local vendors, local truck vendors that want to come in, and instead of having them a whole year of rent, fees for permits, looking to have those waived for those events.
And we actually, the council amended the resolution for the fees a few months back that gives you the ability to do that for town-sponsored events for approved vendors. And just to reiterate, it's all the vendors that the fee will be waived for must be approved by the committees involved with those two sponsored events. It can't be just anybody because of the event that day.
And I know I sent out an email, but that vendor, that truck vendor itself has a few different types of foods.
Right.
And if they see it feasible, I thought you guys might want to work with the young lady from Thunder Mist who's running the event there, that she can get us in touch with those truck vendors.
They're actually using, they're using the same person that's coordinating them, is coordinating us, so he's actually got some of the same trucks. Those that can do both events, they have to like run out and restock and come back, but those that can do that will do that. Those that can't, they're going to replace with some other ones, so it's already coordinated.
I had a weird request over the weekend, too.
What's
Somebody
that?
said they'd like to see an oyster truck for the night.
An oyster truck.
Yeah.
Well, anything's possible.
You better make sure they're refrigerated.
Okay, so
Yeah,
right.
what?
Well, it's gonna be cold. It's
Thunder
gonna be
Mist will
cold
be
anyhow.
real busy.
This one says shucks, we get it.
yeah, it's going to be cold anyway.
It's been waiting for you.
He's waiting 4 years for that.
All right, so I know it was brought up again that when we modified the ordinance a few weeks ago, that was for town-sponsored events. So there's no problem. I understand the advantage. I mean, we want to keep them here. And we would, if we weren't having the Thunder Mist Health Center duck race, we would waive it. Typically, we would waive it anyway for our event.
We work with them on that.
But, all right, so there's no issue waiving it for a private event, even though the ordinance does not say.
Yeah, well, this one's coinciding with our festival, so it works
Yeah.
out even better.
Okay.
Any other comment? Any public comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
All
Aye.
right.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Appointment in accordance with West Warwick Home Rule Charter, Section 1903, vacancies. A vacancy shall exist in the school committee if a member dies, resigns, ceases to meet the qualifications for membership, is recalled, or is convicted of a felony or a crime of moral turpitude, and has exhausted all appeals from said conviction. Any vacancy in the membership of the school committee shall be filled by the council until the next regular town election, when the office shall be filled for the unexpired term thereof, provided that that person selected to said vacancy shall be a member of the same political party as the person whose position he or she is elected to fill. Resolved, the town council hereby appoints the following individual to the West Warwick School Committee, Ward 4, to fill a vacancy expiring November 8th, 2016.
It is.
I'll
this-
move the resolution,
I'll second that.
and I'll move the name of Susan St. Armand.
Second.
Second.
Second. Discussion, as we met, I think 4 to 6 weeks back, we had two candidates on a Democratic primary for a school committee, which was Mrs. Conkin and Mrs. St. Armand. And the council said at that point, we'll let the primary decide, and I think the primary did decide overwhelmingly. And, I agree with the rest of the council that, we're going to appoint Sue St. Armand.
Yep.
Have any other questions? Any public comment? Let me just go over a couple of things. One, if we do appoint you here tonight, which I think we're going to, you still do have to get sworn in prior. You could do that privately with the town clerk. I know you had some concerns with that, having a family or whatever. But this here is just from October and November. And then after the election, if you get elected, we have a much larger swearing in at the high school for all elected officials, all in one shot. And that's when you can invite your family and all the good stuff. Party of one, okay. All right, and Mary Ann, I think you may want to do that tonight since you're leaving for a little while and Paul is not here, so there'd really be nobody here to swear in.
Because when's the next school committee meeting?
Next week.
So in front of everybody, if it's approved?
Swear in.
making her wait?
She wanted her family.
You got the card?
I have to go get the oath in my office.
Oh, that,
You could do that.
if it's more convenient to do it without my family, but that's fine. I mean,
It's up to you.
It can be done whenever, so.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, all in favor for Sue St. Armand? And by the way, congratulations
Yeah.
to your victory.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All in favor for Sue St. Armand?
Aye.
Opposed? Nice have it, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Would you like to be sworn in right now, or no?
Sure.
Up to you.
All right, so why don't we do our business and then we'll have,
She can do it
Yeah.
again.
yeah, so you can go get the card.
She's going to have to sit here for
We
the...
don't have much more on the agenda.
Okay. All right.
Almost done.
Keep the momentum going.
Okay. Reappointment to the Arctic Redevelopment Commission. Resolved that the town council hereby reappoints the following individual to serve as a member of the Arctic Redevelopment Commission Board for the town of West Warwick for a term to expire 10/1/2016.
I'll move the resolution,
Second.
and I'll move the name of Stan Tabak.
Second.
Moving seconded, any discussion? He left. Oh, he must be in attendance. Huh?
His wife was hungry.
Oh, that's not.
Oh, boy.
Right, he must be in attendance, right,
I
Bert?
say we vote no.
He must be in attendance.
Must be in attendance.
I'll make a motion to table.
No. I have a motion on the floor. Stan Tabak. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Reappointment to the Sewer Use Tax Board of Review. Resolved that the town council hereby reappoints the following individual to serve as a member of the Sewer Use Tax Board of Review for the town of West Warwick for a term to expire 10/2019.
I'll move the resolution.
Moving second, any discussion?
I'll move the name of Peter Eldridge.
Second?
Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Peter's not here.
Ordinance 2016-5, first reading, previously tabled, sponsored by Councilman Padula, an ordinance related to the placement of a traffic control device on Providence Street.
Want to keep a table? We're not
Yeah,
gonna discuss it.
I spoke with Major Knott. He had after the traffic committee meeting, he had to make a presentation in some other city, and then he was sick. He's going to have the report to me, and I'll get it out to you before the ordinance goes out. So the next meeting, I'll have the ordinance, because there's a number of matters that were addressed at the traffic committee.
We'll
for
just
this
leave
one.
it on the table and take no action.
Take no actions, no.
On K or N.
You're right.
Or L, Ron M.
Thanks, Al.
Okay. Ordinance 2016-12, first reading, sponsored by Town Council. An ordinance repealing Chapter 8, Garbage and Trash, Article 4, Mandatory Recycling Program, and amending Article 6, Environmental Regulations, and Article 7, Rules and Regulations for Collection and Disposal of Rubbish.
I'll move the ordinance.
Second. Moving second, discussion?
This was a situation where Dave came to me and wanted to put certain things with fines in them. It had said the fee schedule, which was incorrect. When I started to look at it, I noticed that sometime back a number of years ago, Chapter 8 was garbage and trash when we started with recycling, so now we had two conflicting ordinances. I'm asking that you repeal that in its entirety, that the first section, Section 8-98, is just a correction of typographical errors, one deleting the word household and one changing the word letter to litter. The fines that Dave asked for are specified that they will be, for various violations, $25 for the first offense, $50 for the second, and $100 for third and following. There's two different types of violations that those come under. The final section is the one that was raised by Councilman Giroux last week about property, somebody leaves the couch out on the street and doesn't follow the proper procedure. We have a provision in there to prohibit that. However, there was no enforcement powers. So we took the three sections that involve it, and we said that you put it out there, you'll get a notice. If it's not removed within 48 hours, then the DPW will remove it and will charge for the cost of removal, the administration fee, and all the costs that are involved. That will then become not only a lien on your property until paid in full, but we go back to the original provision that we start running 12% interest on the lien.
What's the interest again?
12%. If you recall, we put that provision in on other matters about a year ago.
Because it was 18,
Yeah, we actually.
I wanted to lower it to 12.
Initially, we didn't have any, that was on taxes. This is on building official violations. We didn't have any interest. So now on certain building official violations, we're running it at 12%, and I put this one in at the same 12%.
Is there, Al, is there anything here, after like 3 times, 4 times, they've got to get their own trash removal?
I
And then
believe
we
that,
suspend there.
I believe there is a provision in the actual
Yeah, I thought we
ordinance
did.
itself
We did.
that,
I think there is.
Yeah.
I thought there was a provision somewhere in there.
Yeah, we need teeth in this. You know how frustrated I've been getting on this constantly, is in the back of Arctic, walking over there and driving through the back of Arctic, there's sofas on the sidewalk that obviously have been there for a while. On my own street, there was a sofa that was there for 4 weeks. It had been tagged by the town, but it still remained there for almost over 2 weeks after that. Then we had a set of mattresses that were tagged by the town. It was there for over 2 weeks without being picked up. Finally, I made a phone call. It was picked up immediately the next day by the town. We need to have a protocol in place. What do you do when it's a multi-unit? You don't know who dumped it there. You find...
Well, it goes on the real estate.
Right, exactly. Okay, so, but it says that you're going to find the
Property owner.
the property owner and the tenant, I think you said, and the, is it or and? But in any case,
but that's if we
in any
screwed
case,
up.
it's any multi-unit, it's the property owner or the landlord that's responsible for it.
The best thing is to put the lien on the property.
Absolutely, I agree.
Then it holds the property.
I
As
agree.
the other, Councilman, I'll check into it. For some reason, Dave just said it was if your load was rejected 3 times from the landfill, then we could cut it
Right,
off.
so if you have a habitual offender, a landlord, absentee landlord perhaps, that doesn't really care, can afford the $25 or the $100 every once in a while, if they do too often, right, what teeth is in this to do
Well,
something?
fines,
The fines.
fines,
That's it.
yeah.
Fines increase.
Fines increase, 25, 50, and 100, and then 100 thereafter. I got a feeling.
Does this have to go to court first before the fines are leaned, or do we do it right away?
The fines are gonna go to court, because we're,
That's where you're tied up.
Okay, so how long, we're not gonna wait until,
oh, it's a call, Johnny Brunero, here.
no, I understand that.
Municipal,
But it takes 4 weeks.
at the most.
Well, in fact, I mean,
That's reasonable notice.
well, I have a couple of questions because.
But we're gonna pick this stuff up before that.
You got two different categories. The stuff you're talking about doesn't go to court. That's, all we're doing is the couch, the mattresses that Dave tags, 48 hours later, he hauls them off, and whatever his costs are, that goes on as a lien. No court, no.
Okay.
Let me ask
no
a couple
court
of
on that
questions, because I had some conversation today. What does Mega charge us per truck to come out and pick up bulk waste? And how many times a month? Twice? Dave?
On a Saturday, it's $1,050
Per truck? or-
per truck. That's the truck, the crew, the fuel, the whole
So
9 yards.
they charge 1,050. How many trucks come out here?
One truck usually.
One truck usually.
Once in a while, we need more than one
Now,
truck.
if
But
you
we,
gotta- but wait a
remember
minute.
I told you guys that we were gonna add another pickup on the third day?
Yep.
We did that. And we've also put a dumpster in the backyard for residents that want to bring the stuff to us that don't want to wait, so it's not on the,
So
On the
a
sidewalk.
1,050, they come twice a month right now?
That's
Twice.
each time they come.
that's each, for each truck, yeah.
So now, if you call them up for a jackpot, what do they charge us?
Well, to send the truck out, they're gonna charge me $1,050.
So I have a I have a huge
You lien
question
them
here.
$1,000?
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
I have a big question. Why can't we go back to bulk pickup with our town employees on Saturday, 3 people, even at 8 hours? If you do the math, it's $750. If you do the average of what they make an hour, and we can have them pick it up weekly instead of twice a month.
Why not?
I'm sure they'll be more than happy to.
No, I don't, no, I don't think,
Listen,
I don't think they would be happy to,
Dave,
because
what's
you're
the
gonna have
hourly
to
salary?
negotiate this because you gave away the trash out.
but
They're
again,
not
trash
happy.
and bulk pickup are two different things. I think you're wrong. I think if we went back to the union and said, listen, we'd like you to bulk pickup again, okay? And say we need 3 people on a Saturday. What's their hourly salary right now? $20 an hour, we're gonna say?
20 and
So
18
we're gonna say
change.
it's $30 per hour. That's 8 hours. And they'll probably get it done in less than 8 hours. That's $240 per person, okay? That leaves me at $720 per week.
But you're
Plus
forgetting the,
fuel,
you're
plus
forgetting
whatever, yes,
the
but again.
foreman, the
Plus
foreman I have
plus
to
the
bring in.
exposure to injury.
Hold on one second, let me throw this out there. All right? You're talking $720 a time, but you get a bulk jackpot on a Wednesday and you gotta go pick it up. Well, they're already working. So you can send them. There's no begrudging us because we took it out of the contract. You know, so any given day when Councilman Giroux or Councilman Badul or any one of us call up and say, I got a jackpot in front of this guy's house, it's gotta get off this road. Well, we don't have to pay Mega $1,050
Can I,
to come here.
can I make a suggestion? You got 2 issues. You got Mega's contract that we're gonna have to take a look at to determine whether or not that can be done. You also have a collective bargaining issue. So my suggestion would be is whatever you just laid out, provide it to the manager, break the cost down. But first things first, if Mega already has Saturday pickups that include bulk and garbage, that's already in their contract. You're not gonna
Is that
reach.
in the contract?
Well, I don't have the contract in front of me, but we're gonna have to take a look
But the
at it.
kicker is, on a Wednesday, you call up for a jackpot, they're charging us $1,050. Where are we saving money there?
Well, now.
I
the
understand.
We don't-
It's gonna be less than
They're not
that.
picking it up on a Wednesday.
$1,050 is gonna
And
be
we can-
attached to the property.
They're not picking
Oh,
up
no, I
on
don't think it
Wednesday.
is. I don't think it
We
is. I
have,
don't
we have
think
gone
that's what
out,
they're
we have
gonna do.
gone out with our own roll-off and set a can on the ground and had our guys pick it up and put it in the can. And then we've taken the can to the landfill and dumped it to get the ticket. Now we know how much to charge, and we've charged for the driver, the laborers,
And that's gonna be
the
put on the
foreman,
property if they
and
don't
the
pay.
dumping fee, and that's what went on the lien. So if there is something like that that has to get done, we've been doing those.
But that's
But
something
those
we
are
need to-
rare.
But that's
Those-
something we need to, this bulk thing is new to us. it's new to you because the way it's been being handled. Now Mega's doing it, and I'd like to see a breakdown of their 1,050 charges, of how many times they've been in this town at 1,050 a truck, because I agree with Councilman Giroux, if, twice a month isn't enough. And if we can find a way to do it 4 times a month, and do it every Saturday, 4, 5, 6 hours, I mean, I think it's better. I don't think that, and I don't personally think it's gonna take them, if they call in, the residents call in, and we're able to book it that following weekend, and tell them, do not put it out until Friday, we would alleviate a lot of this.
We would.
You know, because right now, I know what's happened. I had a lady right here on Archambault Avenue. She called me up and says, how do I handle bulk pickup? I said, you call down, you tell them what you have, and they'll schedule. She goes, so I just put it out on the curb after I call? I said, no. You put it out a day before it's scheduled for them to come. Well, that's me explaining it. I'm sure Nicole's had to explain that. But a lot of people just call up, schedule, and then throw it out on their curb and leave it there for the month.
We also sent out a mass mailing
what
with all the
happens-
instructions on how to
Dave,
handle it too.
What happens, you get calls
Plus, it's on
from the
the
elderly
website.
people, my son's here or my nephew's here today, I can't put it out next week, it has to go out today for the following week, and you got that, where this would
Yeah.
alleviate
Well,
that problem.
that's why we added another Saturday, and we added the dumpster in the
But
backyard
if
for
we
the
did it
people that
every
want to bring
week,
it down.
and if you went every other week with
It's
our town trucks.
taking it off the streets is what you want. You want it off the street.
I'm asking,
I don't
though,
wanna
is
go,
it-
I don't
is it
wanna go
cost
1
effective?
week, 2 weeks with that trash.
Which way's better for us?
The neighbors
My
have to look
question.
at.
You want, the honest to God truth was, if we would have bought trucks and we would have kept the trash in-house, and our guys would have been on the street every single day of the week, we could pick up everything that's out there, like we used to do. But it got to the point where
We couldn't
you
afford
needed to
trucks.
buy 4 trucks, which we couldn't afford. And the trucks that we're using right now are on there, I've been out there for a while. We just patched the floor in one of the bodies to keep it going for another year, so we could do yard waste with it. I mean, next budget season, I'm gonna ask you guys for another trash truck in order to continue doing yard waste. I mean, there were a lot of costs involved, and that's why you made the decision you had to make. And that's the truth.
Let's start looking for some used ones.
Yeah, well,
Government.
used ones are tough too.
You can find them.
Go ahead.
With regard to the fines and penalties and that, who and how are they tracked? How do we keep track of who's violated this once, twice, and whatever?
Well, once we get the system in place, the tickets will be printed. They'll be out, and Nicole will tag them, I'll tag them, Freddie will be able to tag them. Shayna from the building office will be able to tag them, right? It's gonna go onto a spreadsheet. Eventually, we're gonna end up with software, ticketing software.
We actually met with the software team today, part of the e-permitting system that the state is doing. They were one of the pilot communities. They now have the ability that we'll be able to do all this as well. So we'll be able to do the minimum housing violations and the trash violations, and we can input our own forms. And when the person is notified or fined, it's there, it's tracked. Whoever else within the town needs to be notified gets notified. We can make the council member for the ward get notified, and then anybody can track and see where it is in the process. You know, has it been picked up? Have they paid the fine? Has it been liened? And all that stuff will follow the property, and you'll be able to search on it. So it'll all be tracked in one central database, and anybody that needs to be alerted, it sends out emails automatically. So if the person being fined provides an email address, they'll get notice for all of the steps along the way as well.
How does notification happen? Walk me through the steps. There was a sofa on the corner of New London Avenue and Earl Street there for 4 weeks.
And it was
So-
tagged.
All right, it was tagged.
And-
Okay, after 2 weeks.
Yep.
After being there for 2 weeks. Okay, it was tagged. Okay, walk me through the process. Who was notified? Once you put that red tag, and thanks for dropping that off, that sample. Once you put that red tag on there, right, who's called? Do you knock on the door? Do you look and see who owns the property and send them something? What do you do?
We look up the address where we put the tag on the piece, whatever it is out there.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole looks it up, she gets the address, she makes a call to the property.
You put a door hanger on there, by the way, too.
We're having the door hangers,
That's new.
That's brand new.
yeah.
Okay.
They're gonna
You're
start.
using them now, Nicole?
When I can get out, like that, when I have a chance to chat, I'll talk.
Yeah.
What's going on.
We just made that up. That's, I gave you a
Well, I
sample
mean,
because you
but it's a
wanted to
good
see
idea,
it.
because you're putting this orange tag on a sofa.
Right.
Right? And the people come out of the house in the morning, go to their car, and they drive away, and they don't really care if that sofa's there or not. They
Correct.
don't see it, they have no idea. And a lot of it is people just don't know what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, and
That's a lot of
the
it.
sample I gave you
Education is
was
part of it.
for you to review, and then if you wanted to
Oh, I
comment
thought you already
back-
printed them up.
No, you asked to see it before we did it, and I dropped them off at your
stickers.
house.
No, I just asked, can I take a look at it? That's all, I
Well,
just wanted to see a
that's-
copy,
if
but
you-
that's
if you
fine.
wanna
No, that's fine.
comment on it, it's
Okay,
fine, you know?
maybe everybody should see it, not just me. So if you have any comments on the tags that they're gonna be using. Okay, so you're gonna be putting a tag on the door,
Mm-hmm.
the orange tag on the piece that's out in the sofa. Okay, now, this particular case, it's probably a bad example, but it's an example. It was there for 2 weeks after the orange tag was on there, okay? Because obviously, maybe that person moved away. They dropped the sofa there, they took off. Okay, how do you contact the property owner?
Well, we look up the address and we get the contact information. A lot of times we get a answering machine, so we leave a message. But many of them call back.
I will say, most
Okay.
of the tags that I leave, I get the callbacks for.
Yeah.
But I also, I communicate with Shayna. So if I'm not getting anywhere, then I email her on all the addresses of those that I've had drop tags that haven't responded to me within a certain time frame. I also, weekly, actually bi-weekly, I send her the list that I have from all those pickup calls. And my process for that, and I just want to let you know, this bulk pickup has taken about 4/5 of my time. So most of my time with the phone calls that I get, day to day to day, notebooks of phone calls, and I call everybody back, is scheduling for bulky pickups. It really is. So I'm not able to get on the road the way I really want to get on the road, to tag people, to be inspecting the bins. I will say that's been taking a setback to this whole bulky process, and especially since once was definitely not enough. Now, twice a month, it's just a perpetual thing that's
How many,
happening.
Nicole, excuse me, how many calls are we averaging a week on bulk pickup?
Oh, my goodness.
We're scheduling, what?
I had 128 just for last month, so that's within a 3-week time frame. And you have to understand, within those phone calls, there's others that is just informational regarding other issues as well.
So
So-
we're getting about 75 a week.
Oh, more than that. I get about 25 to 30 a day. And when it's,
But how many are we scheduling every 2 weeks? How many homes are scheduled?
so it's
on
about
an
2.5, 3 weeks, and we've cut, because we're doing twice a month now, if that first pickup will stop at 90, so we can stay on one truck at that
We're averaging
1,050.
about 90 every 2 weeks.
And then I have to push to that second pickup date, which is that other 2 weeks. And I just was we ended up having to do 2 trucks for Mega because it was over 128 pickups. So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's
Have you
a lot
thought
of
of
pickups.
automating it and putting it might relieve it a little bit if you put it online? But they can go online and request the pickup?
I'm just going to tell you right now, they won't even go online for information, Ed. It's my message states, if you have any questions, go to the website, go to the Public Works pages. And I don't have access to the computer, I don't look at the computer, I don't do any of that. So I am basically, my process for this is, I'm like a tape recorder. It's the same information that I give them. I've had a few that they're regulars at it and they know what they're doing. I've got now, but everything, I don't have a network I'm doing this all hand, my own 1,000 addresses I've got to go through, that I'm doing this, because I don't have access to the database.
Why not?
Why not?
Not to add bulks. I've got my own spreadsheet going. That's what we're waiting for this program for.
Don't we have Office 0365?
We do.
Is access included?
To link into the town pickups and the minimum,
You need-
what minimum
you need
housing
You
has?
need the street database.
No, she needs access to the minimum housing database, the same thing that Pam uses.
Okay.
It's connected to and that's all going to be done with this View software that we're going to be using, and it's all going to be on the cloud.
Okay,
Doesn't matter
so-
where she is.
Well, Fred's telling you it's coming.
Thank God.
They said we're up by the end of October.
Yeah.
Right now, we're building a spreadsheet for each month.
That's what you do.
We do have to get back to the ordinance. The ordinance is for fines.
So what we're doing is I tag, most of the people do call me. They see this orange thing, what do I do? Because it's non-threatening, it really is. Give them the information. I do tell them, it cannot be curbside. You have to pull it off your property. If, now that we can fine, it will be $25 if they don't pull it off. So, for instance, the other day, I went by, called Shayna, this tag is still there, it's been over, we're now on 36 hours or whatever. I emailed Shayna, because she's got the process, she's got the tickets at this point, we still don't. So, she's like, okay, I'll call, and he ended up calling, I called her back, I said, he's covered, he's good. So that's what I've been doing. I've been communicating with her. But she's just the one person as well with this 9,000 people in this community.
This ordinance is going to put in place the fines that we need to do what you want to do and get it off the road. It's going to give us the teeth to go out there and be able to issue the ticket for $25 for the first time.
But you're not, and that's good. No, I mean, someday it'll be right. But you're issuing a ticket, but you're not issuing it to the property owner if it's an absentee landlord, if the landlord doesn't live there. Right? Well, you're not delivering it to his door in East Greenwich or Coventry or whatever.
No, but he's getting
You're
the
gonna
mail.
mail it
She's
to
getting mail, yeah. She's getting, exactly.
It's not certified.
No, legal notice doesn't have to be certified.
Okay, no, I'm just saying, it's not certified.
Doesn't have to be regular mail.
Okay.
They're getting notice. If they don't pay it, it gets attached to the property.
There's two sections. The fines, Councilman, you get notice being caught, like any other fine.
Mhm.
The second section with the piece of bulk on the sidewalk, that's not a fine. 48 hours, he picks them up, and whatever it costs them, that automatically goes on their property. And they're gonna get notice that they're gonna lien on their property.
Okay.
Right.
Um,
Now that this is finally being put in
Two separate
place,
operations.
yeah.
Right, so, but you're giving them 48 hours, once you tag that.
Right.
You give them the 48 hours before you proceed with the next step.
Correct.
And that's fine, again, because I'm convinced a lot of it is just they're transients, and might be in town, someone said, oh, they'll pick up everything,
Right.
and the neighbor really doesn't know what they're talking about, and then, they just are not informed.
Right,
So I
I've
think
had
we need-
landlords
I think
call
we
me and
need an
say, were you
effort-
called? And no,
I
they
think we
weren't.
need an effort for more education on this, too.
The only thing it's not going to correct is the actual time on the curb, because if they do respond to the sticker, they're now calling you and scheduling, and if it's 2 weeks out, it's going to sit there for 2
Although I
They have
do,
to take it
yeah,
off.
I do tell
They
them,
have to take it off.
I
But
do-
there's nothing prohibiting them from taking it from the sidewalk and just pulling it back.
Into the 5 feet into their lawn.
but I tell them, I said, if it's on the curb, you will get fined.
That's not gonna, I don't
I
think.
said, you've got to get it off your property, because that's the thing. Oh, I said, do you have it out now? Well, I have it. It cannot be out on the curb. You will be fined. It needs to be removed from the curbside. So then they pull it in. I
And once
mean-
all this system gets into place, if we go out there and we see one and it has a tag on it, we'll just be able to bring it up on the iPad and say, okay, this
Here I am.
person's already been
Yeah.
notified. They should have had this off, so now they know they're gonna get the ticket.
All right,
And we'll pick it up right away.
all right, any other discussion?
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Public discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Brian?
Yes.
Angela?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes, thanks,
And I
Al.
vote yes.
Thanks for the call. Thanks, David.
Ordinance 2016-13, first reading, sponsored by Town Council, an ordinance amending Chapter 2, Article 6, Emergency Management Agency, Section 2-101, Declaration of Policy, and 2-102, Definitions, Advisory Council of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of West Warwick.
I'll move the ordinance.
Second.
Moving second, any discussion?
All this did was remove the words "the mayor" to the town manager.
Mayor to town manager, that's it. Any other discussion?
Sounds good.
Better not take a half hour.
Well, I said it sounds good.
Roll call vote. Brian?
Yes.
Angela?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you.
Contribution to the West Warwick Wizards Athletic Awards Association, sponsored by Councilman Padula.
This is the ad that we put in the track book every year. I guess it just last month, it forgot to go on the agenda. It wasn't put on the agenda, and it had to be in, so I guess Dave approved it. But this is just a thing that we put every year. I think it was a $100 ad, or
Yeah.
what was it? $150 for the
$150 ad.
Full
I
page.
just wanted it for the record, so that way
Yep.
the finance department knows about it.
the check was actually provided on Friday.
Okay.
I move to pay it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Town managers report?
Go ahead.
Yes, just a couple things. We have an issue out at the Crompton Fishing Pier project. The contractors were driving the pilings for the pier, and they struck ledge at about 6 feet, which does not meet the structural engineer's requirements for the pier. So they have to retrofit the whole design in order to make sure that it's structurally sound and can, meet all standards. That retrofit requires extensive cribbing around every 4 pilings. Will have this crib system, and those cribs will be filled with large riprap. And that does meet all the structural requirements and makes it so they can drive it to the 6 feet and then put the crib system up on it. Now, of course, causes a delay in the project of approximately 3 to 4 weeks, and it also causes an increase in the price of approximately $85,000. Given where we're at in the process and the fact that we have cranes on site and everything, it would really behoove us to continue and keep this going. We do have to get some approvals from DEM with the changes, but I asked the finance director to take a look at some of the accounts where we might go to get this money without going to the general fund. What he was able to come up with is that the Civic Center fire improvement money that the council set aside, just under $400,000 for that project is coming in under budget by just a little less than $100,000. So the money is there. What I'm looking for tonight, because it's not on the agenda, because we just got the final information a day or so ago, but again, because the cranes are out on the site, each day they're out there, we'd have to have them pull them and probably put the project off that much longer and then have to remobilize and pay that expense, or give them the okay to move forward. So what I'm looking for is just the general agreement that it makes sense to do this, and then we'll have a formal resolution to reallocate funds if the council sees fit to do that from that fund. That project, the Civic Center, all of the heavy lifting of that project has been complete. In other words, all the lines running to the building, all the pumps for the fire suppression service, that has been completed. What's left to be done is just running the pipes inside, and we wouldn't expect any kind of major overruns on that because it's a wide open building. So given that, that's our recommendation right now. It would not be coming from the general fund. It's money that's already been set aside for another purpose, a recreation purpose, albeit fire safety, but it is council discretionary. So we don't want to move forward with this, obviously, without at least your blessing, and then we'll come back for a formal okay once we have, all the numbers we have to this point are quick engineering estimates of what it's going to take, but they're pretty confident in what we've been given. So what we look for is not to exceed $85,000 over what's already been approved, and then we'd come back to you for the reallocation of funds from that Civic Center account, if that makes the most sense.
This is the dock?
Yeah.
The dock that's going to be?
Handicap fishing ramp, yes.
Now, why can't they use like they do in Narragansett or Westerly, where they have the docks that are self-made? Now, I'm not picturing what's going on, why they want it more than 4 feet down, and they're self-floating. They're anchored with cables, and it probably goes down maybe 1.5 feet.
Because there are.
I mean, what are they going to do? Drive cars on this?
No, this is mainly because, excuse me, this is an ADA compliant, handicap accessible fishing pier, and it has to be secured. So from the ground all the way to all the components, and there has to be fishing stations along the way. And the structural engineering requirements are that you have to do it in this way. You have to have them either go down.
I mean,
10 plus
the marinas have handicap accessible on their docks, and they have floating docks. where they have the styrofoam pilings underneath that hold the docks up. I mean, I don't
Yeah, but the
understand.
pilings still have to go on the ground.
Right.
Still have to go.
Yeah, but not 6 feet. I mean,
Well, they can get 6 feet.
They can get 6 feet. They have to go 10 to 12.
I don't know.
I'm not a
I've never heard
structural
of such a
engineer,
thing.
just
I mean, you got boat docks that are,
What's the total project?
Total project, I'd have to go back and look at the numbers. I think total, if you look at everything that we've done to date, we're well over money spent already just in all the, in the environmental cleanup and the assessment and all the stuff that's been done. We're probably in excess right now of, before the change order would be around 200 plus, and this will bring it closer to 3.
Unfortunately, way back when, and this is before Councilman Kennahan's time, Councilwoman Gustafson was really fighting for this pier. And at the time, it was told that it'd be about $75,000 to do this pier without homework being done. After homework being done and started doing the project, we had a DEM issue where they had to do the cleanup, and that did bring us up a little over $200,000. And now, as they're realistically, back 6-8 years ago, it should have been dug up and tested how much ledge, if there was any ledge. That wasn't done, and now we're finding, as the project's 2/3 of the way done, there's ledge 6 feet below. And, you know, I agree with the town manager. I mean, it's gonna be a great facility for the community. Unfortunately, there's some overruns. They're aware of it. At least this town manager's letting us know there's overruns and not letting us read it in the press 6 months later. And, you know, I personally don't think if we take the cranes out of there and leave a project half done, then we have to worry about safety, people going over there playing, and so on. And I think it's best that we have it done, and I think they did their research on where we can get the money. And again, it's coming from the Civic Center over to, it's still going towards something in Parks and Rec, so, you know, I just, it's unfortunate, but in the end, I think
is it just their opinion, or?
No, we actually had our own, they had their structural engineer provide us with an estimate and a proposed solution. We had our own third-party structural engineers review all that, say whether or not they concurred. There was some back and forth and the plans were modified, but now both sets of engineers agree that this is the best way forward and the most cost-efficient.
And I mean, mind you, the purpose of this is supposed to be safe. Not only is it supposed to be accessible to those with disabilities, it's also supposed to be safe. And this isn't sitting at a marina where the tides go up and down in predictable ways. You know, this is sitting in a river that, depending on rainfall and other things, we've seen what rivers can do in the amount of force and power and things that can travel down. So
No stronger than the ocean.
Well, there's current.
Yeah, well, actually, there's a good example of it in Central Falls. The Central Falls Landing was a very expensive dock system that was put in with recreation grants several years ago, and the storms of 2005 wiped the entire thing out. And what they put back had similar cribbing to prevent that from happening in the future.
if the worst thing we could possibly do is shortchange the project by, you know, that 20% margin just to see the thing washed away, to damage or compromise the dam that is literally sitting right there on the project. So, yeah. And the whole point of this is supposed to be safe and recreational and accessible. So I asked that the council manager called me today about this. So
Again, I reiterate, if this was before we even dug anything,
Yeah.
and you told me it was gonna cost us 300,000 versus 75,000, I would say no.
Yeah, it makes no sense. You're
Sure.
gonna
But
get
now
200
we're
grand
two-
into it.
We're 2/3 into it, we got 200,000 into it, $85,000 isn't gonna stop the project, considering we know where we're getting the money from. It's not affecting the budget in any way, shape, or form.
It's gonna cost you more to put the cranes back out there if they take them away.
Correct. If you change your mind next year and get it fixed, then it's gonna cost us 110, because it's still gonna be the 85 plus them resetting up. So,
We're committed.
that's it, we're committed.
They got you over a barrel, that's what they
Yeah,
got.
they do. It's a shame,
Unfortunately,
because that
they-
85 could be used for something else.
Absolutely.
I say we
You know,
give
that's
the
the point.
town
It's money
manager-
that we're spending that could have been used for something
I say
else.
we give the town manager authorization to move the funds.
I'm fine with that.
All in
I
favor?
don't think we have any choice.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. Also, just to let you know, I will be out of state at a conference beginning this Friday through Wednesday. It's the national conference for ICMA. John Semino will be acting in my absence, but I will be available by phone and email during that time. And just to also bring up, as you're aware, the TV system is back online now. We actually have a company now that will actually help us reorganize and make sure the wiring, an AV company that helped us order the new equipment and set it all back up again. They made some recommendations with respect to the sound system. The issue we have with these microphones, that the constant shut yours off, that's one issue, and that's a limitation of the system. There's another limitation in that what goes back there, because of the way our setup is, there's a lot of fluctuation in levels and things like that that we have little control over in terms of what gets streamed out. This company is who the school uses for a lot of their events, and they've also set up a lot of council chambers. They've recommended a system to us that would replace these microphones and the backup system, and anybody could speak at any time. The mics automatically go on and off and automatically level control, and the level controls will adjust for what goes out into the system so that it's always a constant level. For the estimate price for that system is about $10,000, but that will include new speakers for the room here too. And so it's a whole new sound system. Now, we did only recently purchase this sound system in here, these microphones and things. The school would find use for those for the school committee immediately, if we decide to go that way. But it's something that, I mean, you don't have to give a vote on that now, but I just want you to give it some thought, because it's something that we would have the ability within the IT budget, but because we have a company that's putting together this whole system for us on the video side, I think it would give us a lot more capability. So it's something we would probably at the next meeting look for thumbs up or thumbs down on, because I think it's an opportunity to really raise it to the next level and get it something that we don't have to.
I think the
fiddle
last
with
time
anymore.
Councilman Giroux checked for the top-notch, state-of-the-art system was like $3,000. Am I
I
right?
think
Four.
this system
35?
was,
For this, yeah.
this system was like under, I think it was maybe under $3,000.
Yeah.
No, but when we were doing the cameras, that,
Oh, yeah, at the time?
Yeah.
Well, maybe, I mean, things go up, but you're talking about not just microphones, you're
yeah,
talking
these are-
about.
this is a
like,
video
probably
interface that-
Preamp,
Yep.
it's probably
This is
wired.
everything. Yeah. And that's all installation and everything.
Yeah.
That's not us doing any of it.
They're not changing, I mean, they're really not changing anything on the video streaming
No,
piece.
that's all the same.
We reordered the same equipment, and that is, it's excellent equipment. But the audio, it's always been an issue. It fluctuates, goes up and down, you can't hear it. It's also always been an issue about turning on your microphone so people can hear you. You forget to turn it on, or you turn it on halfway through, that type of thing. This is I think it's a Vox system.
Audio.
It's voice activated.
Yeah.
Which can be good and bad, by the way. Right. Maybe there's an override on that, I don't know. But, I think we don't have to vote on this tonight.
No, I'm just
Something we want to look at.
presenting it to everybody.
Yeah,
We can
and
send-
we did save a ton of money
We did.
on the video streaming, because between Councilman Goslin and myself, and where we ordered the equipment, we got great discounts on it. I think we saved almost $15,000 just on installation alone, and we got more. We got much more than we would have if we had gone out on a bid.
Did
If
we
you
blow
remember,
that
nobody
whole
wanted to
30?
bid on it.
Did we blow that whole 35 or 50 grand that we had?
No, not
I
on
don't know,
this.
but if anybody's seen the ceiling that was down last week,
Yeah.
okay, we had to run, 10 Cat 5s back there, Ed?
Yeah,
10 Cat 5s plus the camera, plus that camera, and there was one gentleman that was in between those rafters, which is only 2 feet in between the floors, and he was there for a good 6 hours working in between there, so.
Yeah, I felt bad when we missed a cable. But we have, you might have seen the flat screen out there in the hallway. That's going to be tied in also to the cameras eventually, and also hopefully.
A speaker out there as well.
A speaker will be out there, so if we have overflow
Yep.
here, people can, if they want, they can go out in the hallway, and more apt to talk out there than you're allowed to in here. And so the systems, we've got quite a bit for our money. But the next step, we did not go the extra step
Right.
to get the proper audio to feed into that streaming
And,
system.
and that's the one complaint I've got from people that,
Sure.
that watch
Sure.
from home, is that
Can't hear.
the sound isn't good. So,
Right.
I mean, if we invested this much,
It would be studio quality audio
correct.
that we're talking about, so.
So, but we'll put it on the next agenda.
I don't think
just
they
wanna
have a
give an
problem
update.
hearing me with or without the mic.
There.
That's all I have, thank you.
Streetlights.
What's that?
Streetlights?
Oh,
Yeah. Rather exciting.
Yeah, so it's official now, we own our streetlights. We had the closing with National Grid, so we are in the process now, all of the lights are in, right, for the conversion to the LED of the main lights. That doesn't include the historical period lights yet, that we're still ordering those. But all of the regular street lights, will begin that conversion over the next few weeks, and that will include the controllers on top.
Are we gonna, I know Providence did have an issue when they first started installing them, of over brightness in
They
the
didn't,
area?
they didn't do the controllers.
Okay.
So there's a governor on the light that's either, you have to adjust,
Well, when I saw it on Providence, when
Yeah,
I saw it on
it
the
too.
news, I'm like, oh boy,
Yeah.
this is gonna be interesting.
We're gonna have the controls.
we're gonna have the controllers, so, and they didn't do that with theirs, so, and what happens with that, when you don't have them, they put them on all the way when they first set them up, and then they go back and they have to by hand adjust every one of them, because they have control devices on the lights themselves. So that was the issue with there, but, once they're installed with us, we can dim them from the computer.
What is gonna be the process if we need a new light, when there was never a light?
You can just send in the request. There's a number up on the, on our website now, on our homepage, for a light outage or for a request for a light. You can put it through there. For the new lights, it'll still come through the town council. You'll have to approve that first, and then, once approved, we'll submit it, and they'll do the install.
Fred, one more thing.
So that's turbines?
Hold on, Dave was first.
Oh, sorry, Dave.
One more thing.
I'm just gonna give inventory of our,
You led me in on that one. Turbines.
Yeah.
Can you please reach out to Wind Energy Development? I'm still waiting for the login codes.
They're still working with Cox on the web portion of that. Well, that's what I was told.
So can we just reach out to them and say, hey, the council members want to know?
Sure.
All modems have been installed there.
Okay.
So, and
There.
that was installed there almost 8 weeks ago.
Okay.
Just a
Yep.
little kick in
I'll
the
reach
butt.
I
out
know
to
that
them.
because one of my technicians did the install.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ed? No, I just wanted to say, we now have turbines, we have solar panels up at the Civic Center, and now we're going to have LED lights. So I don't know what else we can do to be green here in West Warwick. I think we've done.
So we're applying, we're applying to the Office of Energy Resources right now for a grant. We can apply for $75,000 to install electric vehicle charging stations. So we're looking to do 3 charging stations. We're going to do level 2 stations, which are the 3 to 4 hour stations, one at Town Hall and one at over by DPW in the parking lot. Level 2.
No, you said Town Hall.
Town Hall, and then the DPW the parking lot behind DPW, the bike path parking lot there. And then the third one will be a level 3, which is for the newer all-electric vehicles, which is a 30-minute charger. They're the high-speed ones, and that'll be up at the Civic Center. And then there's also, so $60,000 is towards the charging stations, and that would cover those 3 charging stations for purchase and install. And then $15,000 can be used toward the purchase of electric vehicles for our fleet. So, and that's at roughly $5,000 per vehicle. So what we look to do is put some electric vehicles on next year's capital budget, and the charging stations will already be in place. Part of the agreement with the grant is that you make those charging stations available to anyone, so they'll be part of the statewide network. But it will allow us to then have fleet vehicles, inspection vehicles, anything like that where it can actually be electric. So 100% renewable, be the only town with anything like that. So that's what's next.
Can we get a bumper sticker on the side of the car that says that this car is powered by the wind that's blowing in Coventry?
Yeah, right.
I don't know if we'll word it quite like that, but
Word's done.
Well, meanwhile, I was at
During the council meetings, the meat is really thin.
I was at opening house last night, and I think I introduced you to Mr. Grover today via email. Mr. Grover's a science teacher up at the middle school, and
He's all into this.
he's really excited about, first of all, I heard that my daughter's going to be dissecting a coweye, and then on the third quarter, they're looking to have a field trip to the turbines, and he didn't really know how to go about it, but Fred, I got you in touch with him, but I also told him that, the town will be having a website so the kids can go on in that class, in the science class, they can see the megawatts and so on and so forth of everything that's going on up there, and, what it's producing, and it seems like the school system's waiting, and they're very excited about it also, so I think the faster we get that done.
I reached out to him today and told him just let me know the dates. We'll set it
Yeah,
up.
we just set it up with the Boy Scouts. They loved it. Did a great job. Can I sneak something in under the manager's report?
Sure.
Wakefield Street, and is Dave still here, Lombari? Wakefield Street and Grandview. I just busted 2 belts on my front tires and the front end. I fell in a hole that they dug across Grandview where they're putting the water lines in, or whatever they're doing, Dave. I can just imagine what Wakefield Street and Grandview is going to be this winter when the plows come. They have sinkholes. I called Freddie, matter of fact, a week ago, and thank you, because they were there within an hour. There was unacceptable. There was craters where they didn't patch it. They left it like that. That road gets so much traffic. In the wintertime, when our plows grab that, them guys better be on call 24/7, because I've never seen any company do a job the way they're doing it. I never had the problem all in Ward 1 when, Boyle and Fogarty? Now we got Brito over there. They're destroying our islands. I want that reseeded, whatever they have to do over there. They did it near the cemetery near Midville. They destroyed that with all big ruts. You got to let them know, the water company, Dave, or you, Fred, this is unacceptable. And we didn't even hit the winter yet. So I don't know who's responsible for the damage, but tomorrow I'll find out how much damage is on the vehicle.
I'll reach out to Tim Brown.
Yeah, I think it's gonna have to be a lot of reconstruction, and they haven't even, really scratched the
terrible.
surface yet up on the hill, Arctic Hill.
Oh.
And, again, it just blows my
Who's
mind
doing
that the Department of Transportation, DOT, won't let them work at night. I really think we should, question, why, because the traffic jams are going to be, it's bad enough, the traffic slow down on 117 every morning. But once they get into the heavy construction up on the hill, it's going to be a mess. And as far as the islands and stuff like that, Angelo, I agree with you, but I think we just have to make note and make sure that it's done, that it's finished. It might not even be this. It'll be in the spring, I'm sure.
Well, now's the
just
time
have
to seed and do it for the fall.
Well,
That's
yeah.
better than the
Well, if
spring.
they're all done, you might just get it again. In some areas, it might make sense to do it. But again, up on Arctic Hill, they haven't even started yet. They're still connecting the water lines.
The amount of water they just have flowing.
Oh, yeah, 117 was like flooded with that water.
And
this
they'll tell
morning.
you don't water your grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
All right.
Their engineers seem to know.
Any
Yeah.
other questions for the town manager? Finance.
Really?
Good evening. Just have 3 or 4 things just I wanted to quickly mention. First of all, we started working with the auditors. Markham is back, a bit of what we recently talked about. They're at the school department now. They'll be at the town in a couple of weeks, but that is commencing. We're in the process of starting the IT transition per the last meeting. So there's been a few things that we've been working on so far, a few that we've been able to handle in-house like we talked about, and others that RCC is actually working with us on. The third thing is, we're in the process of looking into a third application with the Infrastructure Bank for additional energy efficiencies, which I think I mentioned last time. But we are having audits done within this building to see what can possibly be done, as well as some additional improvements that we can do with the Civic Center complex. The wastewater facility, as well as the school department, is going to be looking into some things that they may be able to do. RIDE initially had some conflicts as far as the legislation has to do with the school aid housing reimbursement, but that seems to have been resolved or will be resolved with the next legislative session. So therefore, we feel that the school department could also take advantage of the funding available through the Infrastructure Bank. And as part of that process and that application, we're going to see if we can work in some of the costs that the town may have to incur, that the charge-up program that Fred mentioned earlier, that if it doesn't cover the grant, we might be able to work in the monies that we have to pay within the application. And the last thing I want to mention, the State of Rhode Island Governor's Office has initiated a transparency portal that's going to replace some of the quarterly reporting functions or requirements that the towns and cities do have. We've been asked to participate as a pilot program for that. Both the school department and the town will be actually attending a meeting on Thursday to discuss what the transparency portal program is going to actually encompass. Basically, it's going to take the quarterly reports, which we now do, and it's very paper-driven process, and they're going to actually automate the process. So we've been asked to join approximately over a dozen other municipalities as pilots. So we're excited, and we want to participate in that. We do have a transparency portal of our own, but this is actually going to be something that the state will have, and it'll be able to do comparisons between the communities as well.
Yeah, so one of the things they're trying to do with that is almost like the uniform chart of accounts they have with the schools.
Yeah.
Have very similar metrics for all the communities. It's a big ask that a lot of the towns pushing back because, where some towns are versus other, it's going to be a lot of work and a lot of effort to get on the same page. So there's a lot of pushback happening now. But
See, the state funded, the Department of Ed funded the UCOA, Uniform Charter
Right.
of Accounts, for the municipality, for the school districts.
correct.
And from the very beginning,
Yep.
I said they should do the same thing for the municipalities. There's
Well-
no reason why we should have so many
Yeah.
different fiscal systems for all the communities. Same reason why at one time every town had their own voter file system until the state came in and paid for a centralized
Right.
voter system. It's the same principle. They should be funding something like this to make it jumpstart the municipalities on a universal chart of accounts, so that, this pen is, 12-1 in West Warwick, and it's 20-3 in North Providence. And it shouldn't be that way. You want to be able to compare the fiscal reports across towns. And you can't do that right now. And you weren't able to do it with districts, school districts, and now you are in this state. So I think we should push to have that done. It benefits everybody, definitely benefits the taxpayer.
And one of the things that they did, one of the reasons why they approached us as well, is they do know that the last budget, we departmentalized our expenses,
Yeah.
whether the medical, pension and whatnot. So that's something that they want to have all the communities do.
Sure.
So since we've done it, they've asked us to participate, to maybe help other communities.
That's good.
Try to see if we can assist them with their process.
We'll be ahead of the curve. That's good.
So I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, John.
Questions?
Thank you. Any questions for John?
Thank you, John.
Upcoming appointments, Juvenile Hearing Board, one with a term to expire 12/2018. Patuxent River Authority, 1 3-year term. Recreation Committee member, 1 Ward 3. Planning Board, 1 5-year term. Sewer Use Tax Board of Review, 3-year term. West Warwick Housing Authority, 1 5-year term. Zoning Board of Review, 1 5-year term. Development Commission, 6 openings, 4-year terms. Arctic Redevelopment Commission Board, 1 2-year term. Pension Board, 3 3-year terms. Technology Committee, 1 Ward 1 with term to expire 12/31/18, 1 Ward 2 with term to expire 12/31/16, 1 Ward 3 with term to expire 12/31/16, and 1 Ward 5 with a term to expire 12/31/18.
Public comment, anything from the council first, Brian?
Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to Lynn St. Germain Lund. Those of us who were at the ceremony on Sunday, it was a very moving ceremony dedicating the track to her son Brian St. Germain, who gave his life protecting our country. Those of you who know Lynn and her tenacity of getting this done, not only gives the town a wonderful facility up there, it shows what the town can do when people like Karen Tarasevich and the school committee, Kenny Townsend at the schools, Fred was mentioned prominently the other day, and the council to work together to make a great event like that happen in a marvelous new facility for the town.
Thank you. Anybody else? I have a couple of different things. Fred, I know you skipped something. You skipped maybe one or two things in your report. We have a new hire at the Civic Center,
Yes.
and also did we, and I'll let you guys, you can go down.
On the Civic Center hire, we did hire a new marketing coordinator. That's Lori Swanson. Karen and I interviewed several people. We had fantastic candidates, let me just say that. We were blown away at the level of skill and experience in this area, and the desire and willingness to really work for the town, because the majority of the applicants were West Warwick residents. And they were all, we interviewed 6, and I could have easily have hired any one of those 6. They were all extremely well qualified. Lori was, I think, especially qualified because she has experience not only in the community, with the sports community, but she also has been in marketing for several years, and the company that she was formerly employed by did all the marketing for Twin River. She did a lot of sponsorship programs, and she's been involved with all the types of things, social media, very attuned with all the tools and all aspects of that. So, and just the passion and excitement she has for the place was really what I think put her over the edge. And we're really looking forward to seeing what she's able to come up with up there. So it's exciting. I think it's a great opportunity, and she just started this week, and she's hitting the ground running. So I think we're going to see some great things. So.
And Fred's right. Fred asked me to be on the hiring committee, and when I saw the resumes and who applied, a lot of West Warwick residents and a lot of people, I think I knew every single one except for one, and I asked not to be involved in the hiring position on that because there was, it kind of like when Fred came to us when he offered this position, he was hoping for somebody fresh out of college, and that didn't happen. We had people with years of experience applying, and we're talking 5, 10, 15 years of marketing experience, which was, wow, where's the fresh face out of college? Didn't happen. And I don't think any applications were fresh out of college.
No.
They were all well-experienced marketing people.
Blown away.
So, good choice. I worked with her outside of here too, on the softball fields and whatever else she's done. She is an outgoing, I want to say unicorns and rainbows person, because she is a very positive person. Did we post for a building official position yet?
We did.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's all set.
That posting closes on Friday. I will tell you, it's a very difficult position to fill.
We're not getting the same luxury as-
There are several communities that are in the market right now, and in speaking with the state building official, it's just the people aren't out there. That being said, we're being very proactive in reaching out to people, trying to get them to, give it a shot and pull them in. And so I'm confident that we're going to be able to get, qualified people in position on short order.
As Brian said, he did say something about the ceremony, but the track is open full-time now. So anybody who's using that track, and I'll tell you, it felt good walking on the feet up there yesterday. It was, Sunday. Also, the council's starting to hate me, but,
Long past that.
October 1st, 1:30 PM, I have challenged the town council at Jell's Kitchen to an apple pie eating contest. 4 did accept, 1 found out he had a wedding that day, so we're down to 3, which would be 1, 2. Angelo said, you know, he doesn't know if he can eat a pie, but I've seen some room in there lately that he can eat a pie.
Keep it up, Gaza.
But this person's gonna videotape themselves eating the pie and timing it anyway. And
Oh yeah, I'm not backing out, I'm just gonna have to come up with some auxiliary way of providing evidence that I did this.
You have to have somebody
Are
test
there
the pie,
utensils?
make
I
sure
need to
it's
ask.
right.
No utensils, it's hands behind the back.
I made the rules before I knew I was gonna have to be in the contest.
Hands behind the back with, I think, 1 or 2 scoops of ice cream and a whole pie. It's also a charitable event. Jell's Kitchen is gonna donate, every person who enters, she's gonna donate 1 pie, each person, a pie for each person that enters to, what's that,
Be the change.
Be the Change,
So
for their
who's in it?
Thanksgiving dinner.
So who's in it?
Us 3 and plus others, plus the public's
Who, me, Ed, and you?
Yeah. I think,
One and two.
I think some candidates are gonna be in it. I think Ward 2 is gonna be in it, Jim Lopes, who's running against me.
John D'Amico's in it.
John D'Amico is in it. But also, they're also doing this as a fundraiser for Be the Change, and also they're asking people who are coming to watch and anybody who's entering to bring 1 canned good, and so they can donate that to wherever they want. I suggested the senior center or the food cupboard over here on Washington Street. Or Main
I think
Street,
we
I'm
should
sorry.
throw a little more at the senior center.
Well, that's what I
Food
gave
cupboard,
them.
we've been giving them a lot.
Well, between the Christmases and the food cupboard, I said, you know, it's an opportunity. But again, we bring 1 can item, and if you want to really come and have a good time and laugh at us, I think it'll be good for the community. I think it's a good time, and I'm sorry, Ed, I know between me making you pay $100 to a baseball league and now eating some pie.
That's all right, we got a surprise for him at the end.
Yeah, that's right.
That's not a problem, right, Jay?
We're all gonna throw up.
No, we got a problem, we got a real thing with you.
I will tell you, the last time I entered a pie eating contest, it was at Washington County Fair. It was a warm blueberry pie.
Oh,
And as you're eating it, and the guy on the side of you was dry heaving, it's kind of hard not to.
That's good, that's a good way to finish the meeting, Dave. Nice touch.
That's all I have. Chief, I will be sending an email tomorrow, just so you're not surprised. Sending an email about North Pleasant Street speeding. Since they repaved the Cranston speed track as coming down, they hit that little strip in Coventry, but they continue going down North Pleasant, doing 50, 60 miles an hour. So I'll send that over to you tomorrow.
And
I
Dave,
also have a resident that's willing to work with us on that.
another reminder, October 22nd, starting at 4 o'clock through 9 o'clock, is it? Things for the kids to do, there'll be food trucks there, there'll be fireworks, I believe at 8, because it gets dark, October 22nd, bring your blanket. But it's going to be a great day also, because Thunder Miss is going to be having their duck race contest that afternoon, isn't it? Is it the morning or afternoon?
Morning.
It starts in the morning?
Hopefully there's water in the river, because I remember one year they had.
Yeah, right, so it's going to be a great day. It really is. Pray for good weather.
Is it on the main page of the website?
No, but we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put that on there. Thanks, Nicole.
Any other
Yeah, so-
public comment? Any
Motion.
public comment? Last call.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.